What's going on, everyone? Jimmy Like Halo here, back again, and today we're talking about Halo Infinite. Now, Halo Infinite is the sixth mainline Halo game, I guess you could say, even though Halo Reach, I would say, is that, but it's a prequel and it's not a numbered entry like Halo 3, 4, 5, whatever. Anyway, this would technically be Halo 6 in the timeline, and this was the third game that 343 Industries actually developed. So technically, you would think it would be like their end of the trilogy, but this game's really weird. It doesn't really end what happened in 5, but like it kind of did or does. It's really hard to explain, but like they talk about what happened in Halo 5, but it's just like in audio logs and it's so brief and I don't know, it's just really weird. It kind of left me like I know Halo 5 story and Halo 4 story wasn't the best, but it's like when you build two games off of that plot line, it's really weird to just kind of like throw it away almost. I don't know. But I like the campaign in this game. It's definitely better than 5 like story wise. It's very like simple. You're on a Halo ring, but like the banished are really cool and how the game actually works in the campaign, like the open zone type of areas I think is really cool. So, I'm going to show you how that looks like. Yeah, and also Halo Infinite brought back a lot of the classic Halo DNA. Like you can just tell from Master Chief's armor here and the art style. Like if there's anything they got right about a game, it's definitely like the look and feel. It's most definitely like a Halo game, that's for sure. Like even the assault rifle is like the Halo Reach model, and the sniper rifle here is like kind of a combination of Halo 2 anniversaries and the more classic one. But yeah. Anyway, as you can see, this is like the world I'm in, and there's a map here. And you start the game all the way over here, I believe. Yeah, right here is the first level. And then the second level, you like land here, and then you get to like the main area stuff. So each one of these little icons is kind of like an activity. So some of these are just like little FOBs, you clear them of enemies, and then you unlock it, and then it's a fast travel thing, and usually unlocks like a vehicle or something. And then this one was just like an actual like main mission level. And then there's like besides the main missions, there's also like little bosses you can kill. Some of them are really easy because they'll just be like a jackal or something, or others will be harder because it's an elite. Then there's you can like save squads will have distress beacons. They're just little side activities you would expect in like a more open world game, and they're fun little things to do. I think I did them all, but for some reason I didn't get like the achievement for getting everything, so I don't even know. But supposedly I did them all, but this one seems like I didn't. But anyway, the point is that I think this little open zone thing is a cool idea. They haven't really done this before, but they kind of did in Halo 3 ODST to a degree. That was a very different game, but the main problem with this like area is that it's basically just one biome. As you can see, like the grassy mountain looking area here, that's like the only biome. There's no snow, there's no sand. It's just very like generic when it didn't have to be, and I just don't know why that is. I feel like it should have been more, but it just wasn't. And just recently, I'm making this video after they announced 343 is going to be Halo Studios instead of 343 Industries, and they're working on Unreal Engine 5 instead of the Slipspace engine, which is what this game is built off of. And I totally understand why they would change engines, because I think developing the engine was a huge part of the struggle of actually making this game come out. And now that they're making it on like a unified engine that more developers know how to use, they can hire more people to make the game, and it'll probably turn out better as a whole because of that. So that's definitely all good. There's a bandage banshee right here. Oh, the rings are actually hitting their shots for this one. And like I was saying earlier, when you do like one of the side little missions things, you can get like variants of stuff too, which I think are really cool. Which kind of reminds me of Halo 5. But the thing is, as far as I know, these variants are not even in multiplayer, which is kind of weird. Like especially in Fiesta, that makes so much sense. That's why Halo 5 Fiesta is actually my favorite, because it has all the variants of weapons that are really cool. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose. I think this is the really cool energy sword. Yeah, here we go, the red one. The Vanish energy sword is so cool. We've had a red one before. I think it was in Halo 2. You could have a red one, if I'm not mistaken, in the multiplayer or something. Now they have the camos in multiplayer in MCC where you can have this, and it looks super duper cool. Absolutely love how it looks. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about the campaign. I think the story's fine. I just think the lack of biomes hurts like the gameplay, and the little side activities are cool. And I think it was a good like idea to try something new. And it's not like the story's not all over the place. It's very focused on this ring, so it's it's more simple, but at least it works. And it's a fun time for sure. Definitely worth playing. It's kind of weird that the campaign is a full $60, but then the multiplayer is just free, and it's kind of hard to justify that. I think if the campaign was like $30, it'd be totally fine, but whatever. It is what it is. Moving on. So in terms of multiplayer, this game is much more like, kind of like Halo Reach, but with like a little bit of Halo 5, because Halo 5 had all the boost, like advanced movement stuff going on, with like the dodge boost, and the ground slam, and then like forward slam, all that stuff. But what it did keep was like the vaulting, the mantling, and then the sliding from Halo 5, which are the things that I don't have a problem with at all. Those are things like you would expect to just kind of have. It's not really an issue for me. I know sprint is kind of a big deal with Halo people. I feel like it's not as big of a deal now as it was then, but I don't know. The sprint is also slower in this game than Halo 5, which I think kind of balances it, because then when you're like the base walking speed is already pretty fast, and you're like your gun is more at the ready, so you kind of have an advantage in that way if you're not sprinting. So I think it's actually balanced pretty well. And then, like I said, the art style is like, it looks like Halo. It's not like Halo 5 where it's all over the place, where it doesn't even match whatever it was trying to go for. But one thing that's really controversial about this game, that because the multiplayer is free to play, the way you unlock the armor is kind of weird. Like, I don't even remember getting any of these, by the way. Some of them was from like an event thing, and others were from something else. But anyway, this first one here, for example, I think this was the first battle pass in the game, and then you can't just select whatever color you want. You have to select like the colors you're given for that specific core, and the armored core is like a specific set of armor. You can't like mix and match it. And I think they changed it with the colors where you could use the colors on more than one. But even to this day, I still have just no idea. I really haven't played much of this game, to be honest, in multiplayer as I wanted to. But I mean, the customization is there, and it's not bad customization, but it's the way you unlock it. You can't just unlock it like the good old days of Halo 3 and Halo Reach. But go figure, it's a free-to-play game. They're gonna put in stuff, and there's definitely free stuff you can unlock, but I just don't even know what it is because I don't play the game enough to know for sure. But the multiplayer is fun. I like the gameplay of it. It's like very tight, very like good feeling. I don't know if that makes any sense, but essentially it does feel like Halo. But it took them so long to update the game between seasons that so many people, including myself, just kind of lost interest and are like, it's whatever. Like, it was a good game, but I don't know, it just didn't hold my interest, and I'm not really sure why that is specifically, but because I don't dislike Halo Infinite, I like the game, but I don't know, I just didn't have as much fun on playing multiplayer as I thought I would have for some reason. And they definitely added more maps. There was a lack of them at launch too as well, but there was definitely more, as you can see here. There's different variants of them too, and they definitely brought back some older ones, I believe, from Halo 3. And they also did add Firefight, and Forge was apparently really good, but I don't know. Nonetheless, the game's definitely good. There's a good amount of content nowadays, but when it came out, it was essentially like a beta. And there was definitely a lack of like modes and maps, and they only, from what I know, they only ever added one gun, which was the DMR. And there was like ones that they didn't add that they could have, that were like better versions of what they tried to replace them with, like the plasma rifle. But anyway, it is what it is, like I said. Another thing to mention about multiplayer is you have like your own personal AI voice guy, which is kind of cool. You can customize that, but like on top of the announcer, it's kind of weird to have like two. Like it was an interesting idea. I just don't know why it exists. Also, I don't know if you can. I mean, this is a 60 FPS video, so it's gonna look kind of weird, but the screen right now is at 120. I mean, I'll pull up the number. Yeah, so I believe this game on Series X runs at 1440p, 120 hertz in multiplayer at least. And then on Series S, I think it's 1080p at 120. And then the last gen versions are really bad because they do not even run at 60 frames. Like, I don't remember, 1X might have been 60, but 1 and 1S was 30 frames even in multiplayer, which it did not look good. It was like 900p as well. I mean, overall, this game look at the texture on this rock. I'd say, I mean, well, when you really zoom in, you can see it, but like from this distance, it looks pretty good. I mean, I'd say it's a good looking game. The art style is definitely good. Graphically, it looks weird in the campaign, like draw distance, like from far away, it'll look kind of blurry, but for the most part, it's a pretty good looking game. At least the art style is good. But I definitely think by moving to Unreal Engine 5 now, the game's going to look and probably run better and then be developed specifically for newer consoles. Probably going to have a Halo 1 remake from what I heard first. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Like I said, multiplayer and the gameplay feel really good. I just didn't really play it. I can't even really say why. I just didn't really feel like enticed to. Like I said, I think just lack of content really hurt it at the beginning, and it's definitely not a bad game. It's a lot better now, but I don't know why I got an achievement for doing literally nothing. But anyway, that's all about I have to say for this video. Let me know what you think of Halo Infinite, what your thoughts are on the game overall, and if you like it, if you dislike it, what are your thoughts on the Halo Studios whole thing. And yeah, thanks for watching the video, and see you in the next one.